China's economic transformation has been nothing short of remarkable. This growth has fueled a voracious appetite for resources. From oil and minerals to food and water, China's demand has surged. This surge has significant implications for the global supply chain. Dambisa Moyo, in her book Winner Take All, argues that China's pursuit of resources is not unique. She places China within a broader context of global competition. Moyo contends that developed nations have long dominated resource consumption. However, China's sheer scale and speed of growth have magnified its impact. China's demand for copper exemplifies this trend. In 2006, China consumed 23% of the global supply. By 2010, this figure had jumped to 41%. Projections suggest an annual growth rate of 6% until 2025. This insatiable hunger for resources has positioned China as a key player in global commodity markets. China's resource consumption is often portrayed as excessive. However, a nuanced comparison with developed nations reveals a different story. While China's total consumption is vast due to its population size, per capita consumption tells a different story. Consider oil consumption. The average American consumes 25 barrels of oil annually. In contrast, the average Chinese citizen consumes just 2.2 barrels. This disparity is even more striking when considering car ownership. China has 35 cars per 1,000 people. The US boasts a staggering 800 cars per 1,000 people. Consumption patterns also differ. Americans spend a considerable 70% of their GDP on consumption. Europeans follow closely at 60%. The average Chinese citizen, however, spends only 35%. These statistics highlight the hypocrisy of developed nations urging China to curb its growth. The global scramble for resources presents a profound ethical dilemma. Developed nations, historically the largest consumers, now urge developing nations to limit their growth. This stance raises questions about fairness and responsibility. Can the West, with its high consumption rates, justifiably demand restraint from China? The issue extends beyond finger-pointing. The planet's resources are finite. Unchecked consumption, regardless of who drives it, is unsustainable. Global cooperation is paramount. Addressing this challenge requires a shift in perspective. Rather than focusing solely on limiting developing nations, a more equitable approach is needed. This approach involves developed nations curbing their own consumption and transitioning towards sustainable practices. This shift requires a collective effort to redefine prosperity, moving away from a purely consumption-driven model. Managing global resources sustainably demands a concerted global effort. This effort requires collaboration between developed and developing nations. Dambisa Moyo, in Winner Take All, proposes several solutions. These include investing in fuel-efficient technologies, promoting recycling initiatives, and reducing global military spending. Crucially, Moyo advocates for robust global regulatory bodies. These bodies would ensure a more equitable and sustainable distribution of resources. Achieving this vision necessitates overcoming national interests. International cooperation is essential to address this global challenge. The stakes are high. Failure to act collaboratively could lead to resource scarcity, economic instability, and social unrest. The path forward requires a shared commitment to responsible consumption and a recognition of our interconnectedness. Only through joint efforts can we hope to create a sustainable future for all.